3, 2, 1.
Three men are spending $100 billion trying to escape something no amount of money can buy your way out. Death. Not physical death. They know they can't avoid that. But the death that comes after being forgotten. Jeff Bezos is 61, Elon 54, and Richard Branson is 75. The clock is ticking. Neil Armstrong died in 2012, but his name will be spoken for 100 years. That's what $100 billion actually buys you. Not a trip to Mars, but immortality. And the crazy part is, it is working. Before we go further, I need to tell you something uncomfortable. I understand them. Not their wealth, not their power, but the fear driving all of this, which is getting forgotten. You walk through any cemetery, look at the headstones from 200 years ago, and the names have faded away. These people were alive. They loved, they mattered to someone, and now just anonymous stone. That's the thought that messes with everyone who thinks too much. One day, you will be completely forgotten. Your name will mean nothing. Now, imagine you are Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. You built the biggest company in human history. You are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. You can buy anything, and you realize none of that guarantees anyone will remember your name in 100 years. Well, forget 100 years. The name of who is the richest person on the planet changes every couple of years. Go to any college campus and ask any random student, who was Cornelius Vanderbilt? Maybe 1 in 20 knows. He was one of the richest men in American history, built railroad empires, dominated an entire era. However, today he's forgotten. Next, ask those same students who walked on the moon, and everyone knows. That's the equation they have figured out. Business success is temporary fame that fades away when you die. Space achievement? Well, that's permanent immortality. So, they are not building rockets to reach Mars. They are building rockets to cheat death, not their physical death, which is inevitable. The second death, when your name disappears forever. And you know what's the darkest part of all of this? If I had $100 billion and had to face the same choices, which is cure malaria or put my name on Mars, there is a good chance that I will be designing my rockets from tomorrow. Let's start with the slowest billionaire in the race. Jeff Bezos founded Blue Origin in September of 2000. That's 25 years ago, 2 years before SpaceX existed. He has personally invested an estimate of $15 to $20 billion over the last 25 years. Since 2017, he has been selling $1 billion in Amazon stock every year to fund his ambition of Blue Origin. Blue Origin reached the orbit for the first time in January of this year. January 16, 2025, after a quarter century, the New Glenn rocket finally made it to the orbit on its first launch. Impressive engineering and real achievement. But here's what nobody's saying. Bezos doesn't care that it took him 25 years because he is not building a business. He is building a legacy, an insurance policy. SpaceX reached orbit in 6 years. Blue Origin took 25 years. That's not incompetence. That's not caring about the speed when you are trying to buy immortality. Let's look at some facts. In the last 25 years, Blue Origin flew 58 people on 11-minute suborbital tourist hops. Cost per passenger was over $1 million, and the total R&D cost per passenger was close to $350 million. Normal people look at this and think, what a waste. Bezos looks at it and thinks, worth it. Because when he flew himself in July 2021, watch what happened.
But Jeff Bezos set to go into space.
Jeff Bezos walked out to make his own history in space.
Is it everything you thought it would be? Dude, look. Oliver. For every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you guys paid for all of this.
Global coverage for weeks. Google search spiked by 800%. Amazon's innovation brand metrics went up. But more importantly, when someone says billionaire who went to space, you think of Bezos and nobody else. That's what $20 billion bought. Immortality. Now, let's talk about the one who's actually good at this game. Elon Musk founded SpaceX in 2002 with one stated mission: colonize Mars. And unlike Bezos, SpaceX has legitimately revolutionized spaceflight. First private orbit, first ISS docking, first reusable rockets, and first private astronauts. Over 450 booster uses. They made landing a child's play. SpaceX is genuinely the most innovative company in the history. But here's where it gets dark. Mars in 10 to 20 years. Mars by 2022. Mars by 2024. Mars by 2029 or maybe 2031. The timeline keeps sliding forward exactly as fast as time moves. So here's my take. Musk will land something on Mars probably by 2030, but it will be robots. And when he does, he will declare victory. He will say that he's the person who colonized Mars. The media will run with it, and his name will be written in the history books forever. Mission accomplished. But what about the million-person city? Well, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Sending one person to Mars safely will cost $10 billion. Sending 1 million people will be $10 trillion. Our current global space economy is $500 billion per year. So it would take 200 years to have a million-person city on Mars. But Musk doesn't need to actually do it. He just needs to be remembered as the guy who tried. And you know what? That's genius. Because every time SpaceX does something, Tesla stocks jumps. Separate companies, but the Elon is changing humanity narrative lifts everything up. So Elon Musk isn't selling rockets. He is selling a vision of himself as the man who made humanity multi-planetary. Whether he actually does it or not is almost irrelevant. The narrative is what matters, and that narrative buys immortality. If you are still watching, you are part of the system. Hit subscribe, not because I deserve it, but because you deserve to see more on how this game is actually played. Every week, I break down what the powerful are actually doing versus what they say they are doing. This is just the beginning. And finally, let's talk about what happens when you try to buy immortality and fail. Richard Branson founded Virgin Galactic in 2004, promised space tourism by 2007. Then 2009 came, 2012, 2014, 2018, and then 2020. He finally flew in 2021 to 53.5 miles up. That's when you compare, it is 9 miles below the internationally recognized boundary of space. In 2014, the spacecraft broke apart, killing the co-pilot. Branson kept selling tickets anyway. 2023, after $1 billion burned, Branson stops investing personal money. 61 people flown, $1 billion spent, and $16 million per passenger in R&D cost for 11 minutes. Branson's mistake, he believed his own marketing. He thought that space tourism was a real business. It is not. It is publicity stunt, and when the publicity runs out, you are left with nothing. Bezos and Musk still get headlines. Branson barely mentioned anywhere. He spent $1 billion trying to buy immortality, and he'll be remembered as the guy who almost made it to the space. That's the risk when you play this game. You either become legendary or you become a footnote. So here's the part I haven't told you yet. The reason why they are doing this isn't about them. It is about us. While Bezos gets weeks of coverage for an 11-minute hop, the scientist who actually studied Mars, he gets thousands of views. And the researchers curing disease might get page 12 news. I'm making this video and you are watching it. The algorithm rewards glamour over substance, and I'm feeding the same machine right now because I understand the fear driving them and the fear of being forgotten. The desire to matter beyond your lifetime is something that every great king or every great person has tried to chase. Neil Armstrong died in 2012, but his name will never be forgotten. They could fund solutions that save millions of lives, clean water, disease research, climate solutions. But that doesn't get you remembered, and that doesn't make you the space guy. So they chose rockets, and we chose to watch them building those rockets. We are all complicit in the attention economy that made this the rational choice. So here's my prediction, and I'm putting this on record so you can come back in 2030 and tell me I was wrong. First, Blue Origin successfully launches New Glenn another 5 to 10 times by 2030, but it never becomes profitable. Bezos keeps funding it forever because he can afford to lose $1 billion per year indefinitely. And when he dies, he will be remembered as a space pioneer. Immortality achieved. Virgin Galactic's Delta class launches in 2026. Company goes bankrupt or gets acquired by 2029. Branson will be remembered as the guy who tried and failed. Immortality partially achieved. And third, SpaceX lands robots on Mars by 2030 and Musk declares victory. Media runs with Elon colonized Mars. The million-person city will never happen, but Musk's name goes in the history books forever anyway. Immortality achieved. And fourth, all three of them will be remembered as space pioneer in 2030. Whether they actually achieved their goals doesn't matter. The narrative is set and they won. 200 years from now, someone will stand in front of a memorial and read, Jeff Bezos, space pioneer, Elon Musk made humanity multiplanetary. And they will never know about the broken promises. The $100 billion wasn't wasted. It bought exactly what they wanted. And the crazy part is, I respect this game. Bookmark this video for 2030 and let's see who was right. Comment below with your predictions and let's see what you come up with. And don't forget to subscribe to see more videos just like this.